What if everything you built with the people you trusted most suddenly turned into a silent battle of betrayal, money, and broken dreams? And right when you think it cannot get worse, a deal appears that could change everything. But at what cost? Stay till the end because this story takes a turn you will not expect. And if you want more powerful stories like this, hit subscribe right now and join the fastest growing community watching real drama unfold. It starts with a moment that feels almost too heavy to hold, a quiet admission that everything has fallen apart in a way no one truly expected. And there's a sense of disbelief that lingers in every thought. Because deep down, there was always an assumption that no matter how difficult things became, there would still be some level of understanding, some level of humanity left between them. But now, standing in the middle of what feels like emotional wreckage, there is only confusion and hurt, mixed with a growing realization that the people once trusted completely are now capable of actions that feel distant, cold, and calculated. And yet, just as that weight begins to settle, something unexpected cuts through the tension, an update that shifts the focus from emotion to opportunity. A buyer has appeared, not just anyone, but someone serious, someone ready to make an offer on all the land. And suddenly, the conversation pivots from heartbreak to negotiation, and numbers begin to replace feelings, at least on the surface. Because underneath every word, there is still tension, unresolved and quietly building. The offer is introduced cautiously at first, described as subtle, almost hesitant, as if testing the waters to see how it will be received. But it quickly becomes clear that the initial number is not enough. It does not reflect what the land is believed to be worth, and so there is a pushback, a refusal to accept less than what feels fair. And that moment becomes critical because it sets the tone for everything that follows. The buyer responds by increasing the offer, bringing it to full asking price, a number that aligns with expectations, $125 per acre, a figure that suddenly makes everything feel real, tangible, and urgent. Because now there is something to lose and something to gain, and the stakes become higher than ever before. And yet, even with this progress, the complications begin to surface. Ownership is divided between different parties, responsibilities are unclear, and trust is fragile at best. The land is not just land, it is shared history, shared investment, and shared conflict. And every decision about it carries emotional weights that cannot be ignored. And as discussions continue about how to handle the sale, how to divide the ownership, how to process the paperwork, it becomes evident that this is not going to be simple. There are too many layers, too many perspectives, too many unresolved issues that continue to influence every step forward. And while some are ready to move quickly to finalize the deal, others hesitate, holding back emotionally, unwilling to fully commit until everything is clearly defined and legally secured. Because experience has taught them that words alone are not enough. Promises can change, and intentions can shift. And so there is a cautious approach, a wait-and-see attitude that reflects both wisdom and lingering distrust. And as the process unfolds, frustration begins to rise. Accusations emerge about who is doing the work and who is not, about who is carrying the burden and who is standing on the sidelines. There is a sense that effort is not being equally shared, that one person is taking on the responsibility of pushing the deal forward, while others criticize, question, and delay. And that imbalance creates resentment because it feels unfair. It feels like history repeating itself, where one person is expected to manage everything while others benefit without contributing. And that perception, whether fully accurate or not, adds another layer of tension to an already complicated situation. And then comes the deeper issue, the one that shifts everything from a simple transaction to something far more personal and intense. The suggestion that there might be hidden motives, that the delays in decisions are not just about logistics, but about control, about gaining an advantage, about potentially taking something that does not rightfully belong to one person alone. And that suspicion changes the dynamic completely, because once trust is replaced with doubt, every action is scrutinized, every decision is questioned, and every delay is interpreted as intentional rather than circumstantial. And in that environment, it becomes nearly impossible to move forward without conflict, because even the simplest steps are loaded with meaning and implication. And as the pressure builds, the idea of meeting face-to-face becomes inevitable, returning to the land that has become the center of all this tension, a place that once symbolized hope and unity, but now represents division and disappointment. And the anticipation of that meeting is filled with mixed emotions. There is no fear exactly, but there is a clear awareness that it will not be easy, that interactions will be awkward, that conversations will be strained, and that underlying emotions may surface in ways that are difficult to manage. And still, there is a desire for things to go smoothly, for there to be at least a sense of civility, if not genuine connection. Because despite everything, there is still a recognition that healing is needed, that closure is necessary, even if it comes in a form that is less than ideal. And as the conversation shifts to how to approach that meeting, there is a subtle tension between expectation and reality. A reminder to be kind, to be respectful, to avoid unnecessary conflict, but also an acknowledgement that behavior is a choice, that while it is possible to act with composure, it is not always guaranteed, especially when emotions are involved. And that uncertainty adds to the suspense, because it leaves open the possibility of confrontation, of unresolved issues coming to the surface in unexpected ways. And then, as if the situation were not already complicated enough, another layer is revealed, one that introduces a new level of concern and resistance, a confidentiality agreement, a document that seems to serve as a condition for moving forward, but raises immediate questions about its purpose and implications. Why is silence being required? What is being protected, and who benefits from that protection? And those questions are not easily answered because they touch on deeper issues of trust, transparency, and control. And for some, the idea of signing such an agreement feels like giving up their voice, like agreeing to conditions that may limit their ability to speak openly about what has happened. And that's a line they are not willing to cross, even if it means risking the deal itself. Because at that point, it is no longer just about the land, it's about principles, about the right to share their experience and to not be restricted by terms that feel one-sided or unjust. And that resistance creates a new obstacle that slows down the process and adds to the already growing tension, because now there is a fundamental disagreement about how to proceed, not just in terms of logistics, but in terms of values and priorities. And as time passes and the pressure to finalize the deal increases, the situation becomes even more complicated with the introduction of a potential alternative approach, a side arrangement that could bypass some of the obstacles and move things forward more quickly, but at a cost because it would involve making decisions without full agreement from all parties. And that raises ethical concerns about fairness, about doing what is right versus what is convenient. And for a moment, there is a real possibility that this path might be taken, that the urgency of the deal might outweigh the commitment to fairness. But then something shifts, a moment of clarity, a reminder of who they are and what they stand for, a recognition that even in difficult situations, integrity matters, and that choosing the easier path at the expense of others is not acceptable. And that realization becomes a turning point, a decision to stop, to reassess, to ensure that whatever happens next is done in a way that is fair and transparent, even if it means delays, even if it means additional conflict. Because at the end of the day, the outcome must be something that everyone can accept without feeling wronged. And that choice, while difficult, brings a sense of grounding, a return to principles that had been at risk of being overlooked in the rush to resolve the situation. And yet, even with that decision, the emotional impact of everything that has happened cannot be undone. The relationships have been strained, the trust has been weakened, and the process of moving forward continues to be influenced by those realities. Because once damage is done, it does not simply disappear. It lingers, affecting interactions, perceptions, and decisions in ways that are often subtle but significant. And as the story continues to unfold, the question remains whether this deal will truly bring closure, or if it will simply mark the end of one chapter while leaving many issues unresolved. And that uncertainty keeps the tension alive, creating a sense of suspense that carries through every step of the journey. Because while the outcome may seem within reach, the path to get there is anything but straightforward, and the emotional stakes remain just as high as the financial ones, making it clear that this is not just a transaction, but a deeply personal experience that will have lasting effects on everyone involved. As the process inches closer to completion, there is a noticeable shift in the atmosphere where anticipation replaces hesitation, and reality begins to settle in, because what once felt like a distant possibility is now unfolding step by step, with confirmations arriving, documents being prepared, and the weight of final decisions becoming impossible to ignore. And yet, even as progress is made, the emotional tension does not fade. Instead, it transforms into something quieter but more intense, like a storm that has moved from the horizon to directly overhead. And in this stage, every interaction carries meaning. Every glance, every word, every silence speaks volumes about what has been lost and what can never fully be repaired. And when the moment finally comes to return to the land, the place that once held dreams of unity and shared futures, it feels less like a reunion and more like stepping into a memory that no longer belongs to anyone. The air itself seems heavy with everything that has happened, every argument, every disagreement, every unspoken feeling lingering in the background, as they gather, not as a cohesive group, but as individuals connected only by circumstance and necessity. And the awkwardness is immediate, unmistakable, not because anyone says something wrong, but because no one quite knows what to say at all. And that absence of natural conversation creates a distance that is far more telling than any argument could ever be, because it reveals just how far apart they have grown, how much has changed since the days when this place represented something hopeful and shared. And now, even standing in the same space, they are navigating entirely different emotional realities. Some are focused on the task at hand, determined to finalize the deal and move forward, while others are caught in reflection, thinking about what this place once meant, what it symbolized, and how different everything feels now. And that contrast creates an invisible divide that cannot be easily bridged, because it is not about agreement or disagreement, it is about perspective, about where each person stands emotionally in relation to what is happening. And as the process continues, the presence of in the end, the deal may be done, but the scars of broken trust and lost dreams do not disappear overnight. And sometimes closure is not about winning, but about finally letting go and moving forward. If this story pulled you in and you want more real stories that keep you hooked till the last second, hit subscribe right now.